Well, we've got one or two things come together at last, so I'm hoping, if we can beat the showers, to do a small project today. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Anyway, first, these came this morning, which are the chips for me fruit machine board. And I've told Paul, so that's a start. Anyway, I've been a few days, literally a few days, getting stuff to do this little project, and I see it advertised. I thought that'll be a good thing for me. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. And I've got some copper pipe rod, 15mm, if you like, ½ inch I call it. I've got plenty of that, right? I've been a few days having to get it with this blooming situation we're in. I normally buy things with cash, and I've been to a shop and they won't sell me it, so I had to come home and get a card, and then they ain't got enough. I had to go somewhere else, so I've been sort of 3 days getting the stuff. So what I've got is plenty of that, and a big bag of elbows and tees. And I got compression ones because I think it'll look nicer. But anyway, I went to a shop at the sound. Difficulty. Well, not difficulty, it just seems difficult. And so I couldn't, they hadn't got enough. So I went to a shop and stood in the queue, and it was showering, so I waited until the queue had gone down. I could shelter under the shop awning, and I went inside and picked my bits up I wanted. Got to the till, finally got to the till. Oh, no, we don't take cash. So I had to come home, and so that was the tale for the next day. So I went there, but this time the bits I wanted hadn't got enough. So I got solder ones. I'm not bothered because I might even, make something else, or two of them. I think I've got enough for that. So anyway, finally after 3 days we got enough to do the job. So I'll show you what it is. Right, I've had problems kneeling for a long while, getting up from kneeling, and I saw something advertised. It's not very expensive, and it's something that you, with like 2 hoops, and I'll show you one of my fantastic drawings in a moment what it is. And it's a pad about 3 inches off the floor with 2 handles that you can kneel on, turn it the other way up, and it's a seat. So I've had to work out the rough sizes. It's not to a bit like, but I've had to work out the rough sizes. So what it is, I'll do you a cross section view first. So you've got 2 uprights about 2 foot high. Right, you can work that out in blooming metric, I can't. I'll work in English. Right, 2 foot high, and it's about 1 foot across. And these are actually like oblongs made out of tubing. So you've got, looking at cross, if I can do it this way, I'm not very good at this, as I said. We've got one there, and do a bit of one there, like that. But that bit isn't there, I've done that wrong, never mind. Down like that, down like that, down like that. That bit's there, that bit's there, and you've got 2 tubes going across like that. Should be level. Right, them bits aren't there, fair enough. And then what you do, you've got a pad on there. That goes like that. And you've got a pad on there. And what you do, you kneel on it, right, and then you've got 2 handles to lift yourself up, and then you turn it the other way up, and you've got a seat that you can sit on. So it's a stool that you can kneel and sit on. That's what we're making. So I decided to do a Posh one. There you are. So I've got to work out a few dimensions, or I have worked out a few dimensions for my size. So that wants to be about 3 inches off the floor. This does. And these elbows, the pipe goes in 1/2 inch. Right? And that wants to be 20 inches high, not 2 foot. It can, and that dimension is about 16 inches, which is 1 foot 4 inches. That's about right, width-wise, right? So it wants to be 3 inches up, about. It doesn't matter to a little bit. So all I've got to do, I've got to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of tubing the same length. So I want 6 bits that, as I say, about a foot. So possibly slightly less, but we've got plenty, so let's say it's a foot. Right? So we want 6 times, well, let's say 11 inches. Right? 1, 2, no. 1, 2, 3, I want 4 bits. Let me get it right. This is why I'm planning it. This is the planning stage, right? Because I've got T's there, right? And I need 2 pieces, 16 inches. So it's 2 pieces, 16 inches minus 1 inch will be 15 inches. And we want 1, 2, they're 3 inches up. Don't matter if it's 3.5, right? So 2 inches, let's call it 2.5. So we want 4 pieces, 2.5. As I say, it's a near enough job, this is, size-wise. Which means that if that wants to be 20 inches high, because I've already measured it, for my height, which is there, like that, right? If you can see that there. And that's, put it on the floor, that's the height I want to be able to lift myself up. So we've got 20 inches minus 3 inches is 17. Minus another inch is 16. Right? Are we right? So we want 4 bits, 16 inches. And I've got that much. If it's wrong, I can redo it, you see. But I did it in compression joints because I think it'll look nicer, but also I can then just tighten it up when it's done. So, I'll turn it around the right way for you. That's what we've got to do first. Go outside with the grinder and get these cut up. Let's do that. Right, so the first thing is to cut these pieces up. As I said, it's not critical, the length isn't critical, but they do need to be the same distance. Right, so we want 4 pieces 11 inches, which is there-ish. Like that. So I'll put that down there. Oh. I could do with that a little bit closer, couldn't I? Put it a little bit far out. Let me just adjust this up to here, like that. There we are. That'll be better. I don't want it wobbling up and down, that's all. Now let's see if I can turn the grinder. one. Right, we've got those four. What I will do is I'll hold them on a block of wood or something and just do the ends to make sure they're exactly the same length. So now I'll get on and cut the rest of the bits up we need. Well, I've got all these cut off, and as I said, the size isn't totally critical. So what I'm going to do, I've taped them together. They were difficult to hold, but they've just got to be the same length. That end is pretty spot on, actually. So we'll just start the grinder. I've had to, I can't work the switch, so I've had to unplug it and plug it in. Exactly the same length. I'll do the rest. Well, that 10-minute job's taken an hour and a half, don't matter. I've got in and had a rest as well, and it's not raining, we're alright. Funny, innit? You talk about underestimating things, good job I'm not charging by the hour, isn't it, eh? Anyway, we've got all the bits cut up, and I've got my bag of compression joints. So, there's the two cross pieces. So let's see if we can assemble it without the blueprint or the black print. And I need some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So I'll come a bit closer. Right, I've got I've got my Chinesium metric adjustable look. I've got a really good English one, but it's AF and it won't fit properly. So I thought we'd better not strap my fingers on that. Right, so what I've got to do now is very simple. I'm hoping these will go in here. They will. So now I've got to put a long one and a short one, like that. And I've got to tighten them up a bit. So I'll just do this one if I can. Put these down. And just see if we can tighten these up enough to hold. That's all it's got to do. This is why I wanted to use compression joints, because I think you'll agree in a moment that you will see very easily that they grip, and I can change them if they're wrong, you see. But I think you'll agree that that looks a bit nicer. Right, so I'll get on and assemble it. Well, as usual, I know I'm a slow worker, but I vastly underestimated how long it was going to take. And I vastly overestimated my fitness level, so I've had to stop. Anyway, we've got it all the bits cut up, and that's done. So we can call this a video. You've got the general idea. That cross piece, of course, comes upwards, you know. We've got like two oblongs joined together, and then what I'm going to do is, we've got, wrong way of course, we've got this bit of nice thin plywood, and I'm going to cut that in an oblong shape, and with just using these, I've got plenty of these left, look, using those I'll have to cut them off, but there'll be 2 bits of pipe going across round, and I'll cut an oblong, and then I can fasten it with 4 of these into that pipe. They can be cut off and drilled and done that. So then we get the flat base, and then, well, I've got some upstairs and I've got some here, and I've been looking for a use for this for a long while, and I've got this nice piece of thick leather I've had for a long while, and I've been looking for something to do with it. So what the idea is, look, there's a nice bit of thick leather, you see, if you can see that alright, I think you can. And so what the idea is to put that thin plywood on the top side when you're kneeling on it, and then fastening that, I've got with the same fasteners with these, with those, I've got plenty, look, as I say, I've just got to drill a hole and cut them through and fasten them with a few of these, and I've got another packet of these. I've got those nice brass studs, washers, sorry. They're for, originally they were for the turnbuckles on a canopy, right? So I've got those, and I thought that would look nice to hold that leather on. So all I've got to do then is put it on the top and put it underneath the pipe, so that the side you sit on will have a little bit of springiness, won't it? So that's what we were trying to achieve. So anyway, finishing off where we started, hopefully. Something like that. Where are we? There, yeah. Finishing off where we started. Yeah, I'm going to call this a video anyway. So you get the idea, and I'll show you the finished article, the finished product, in a future video in a day or two. So there you are. Anyway, I've had to sit down for about half an hour. I'm not too bad, but we're starting to ache a bit, so you know, I mustn't overdo it too much. Anyway, we've done something, haven't we? And we've got a video today, and we've got 1 or 2 coming up. Right, hope you've enjoyed the bit so far. See you soon.